Hello, everybody, and welcome to the podcast Aftersight. I am your host, Penn Street. Today, we have a very special guest from Utah, my friend, Michelle Smith. And Michelle, tell us a little bit about yourself.
I grew up in northern Utah, and I love outdoor activities and being able to do things with the help with adaptive equipment. And at first I was in my mid-20s, over 300 pounds, not very active, and being able to lose the weight and get down to 150 pounds and being the most active I've ever been through the National Ability Center, where I learned to love myself and who I am. And I have picked up the sport skiing, and this past weekend in March I was able to go to Colorado and be able to ski down Breckenridge and being able to show off my skills and go on terrain that I've never been on before and being able to actually ski independently.
That's awesome, Michelle. And I know you started out in this world with a lot of barriers, and you've overcome so much in your lifetime. Can you share a little bit about some of those barriers that you encountered really early in life?
Yes. So when I was born, the doctors actually told me that I wouldn't be able to walk. And at the tender age of 3, I had to start wearing glasses because of lazy eye, and I lost my hearing due to a high pain tolerance and getting ear infections when I was a little kid, and my body wouldn't go into a fever, so my parents didn't know I was sick. And so it has brought on some obstacles, but I've been able to overcome and be able to help other people in the world.
Yeah, and so Michelle and I met many years ago at an event for people with disabilities to overcome their barriers in Park City, Utah. And Michelle kept coming back every year to that event. It was all over the country, New York and here in Colorado, Copper Mountain, Tahoe. And I know that when that organization mostly shut down because of COVID, you still found ways to break through your barriers in life. Tell us a little bit about the program where you're helping to mentor other kids that, have struggles of their own.
I actually can't do Big Brothers Big Sisters anymore because of COVID, but I have adopted a tutoring program, and I'm able to tutor a kid who has ADHD and is very defiant against his parents. And he was failing 5th grade a month ago, and now he is not failing because he's doing his homework, and we're getting him to turn in some of his work in before the due date. And
it's amazing.
Yeah, so he's now actually passing the 5th grade compared to being a failure.
Did you have mentors in your life when you were a kid? Is that why you want to give back in this way?
Yes, I did. So when I was in junior high, I was in resource, and my English resource teacher was able to see past my barriers, and he was able to teach me the skills that I needed to be able to write in this world and be able to read. I couldn't read past the 2nd grade level, and I didn't even know what end of a period was at the end of a sentence when I went into 7th grade. And by the time I was in high school in 10th grade, I was graduated from resource and mainstreamed back into the regular English classes, and I was able to go to college, which broke extremely rare barriers, and be able to get an associate's degree.
That's amazing, Michelle. And I know you used that degree to go to work and pay taxes, which a lot of us, that is our goal. But you had other things that came up and kind of created a different path for you.
Yes, it did. When I was 20 years old, I fell down a flight of 12 cement stairs, and by doing that, I did somersaults hitting each stair on my head, and I ended up getting a bruise on my brain, which led to the diagnosis of having cerebral palsy. And due to the anxiety and depression that comes with the diagnosis of having cerebral palsy, I am not able to work because in having to report to somebody, I tend to get overwhelmed and I don't take criticism very well.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think any of us take criticism very well. But yeah, but you, even when you went on disability, you still kept busy. You're really involved in your church. And like you said, with this mentoring, tutoring program with this young person, what other things do you do in your community?
I try to find ways to serve others. I try to give back in in my church, doing different callings and being able to help people succeed. I love telling my story and getting my story out there in the world and being able to influence other people to be able to succeed in their life when things don't go as planned. As life tends to throw you curveballs, and you just have to put a smile on your face and continue to go on life.
That's right. I know your faith is really important to you. Do you feel like your faith has kind of helped get you through some of those dark times?
Yes, especially because it's through the faith that I know what my plan in life is going to be, and being able to see the big picture at the end of the picture. I believe then there's a life afterwards, and that I will be healed from my disability, and I look forward to that day where I can do everything a normal person can do. And being through organizations like the National Ability Center and other ones, I've been able to learn how to become more financially stable, to be able to do the activities and be able to actually plan a fun trip to get over a traumatic event in my life. And I'm going to Hawaii in a month.
I know, I'm so jealous. And you're going with your sister. I think that's even, I don't know, that seems more cool. I would love to go to Hawaii with my sister. I'm sure she would like to go to Hawaii with me too.
Yeah, it's just being able to be independent and not have to rely on my parents, even though I have to live with them every single day. Yeah. And build those independent skills.
So that was an interesting comment that you made about, that after life you're going to be someplace and your disabilities will disappear and you can do anything you want. What if somebody, like if I had a magic wand right now and I just went ding over you, Michelle, and you didn't have any of your disabilities, what would be like the first thing that you would want to do?
To be honest, I would want to be able to do all the different sports and be able to play on an athletic team and being able to be a professional sports player. And
that's interesting. That's something I actually did not know about you.
Yeah,
that's interesting. I know people have asked me that, like what I would do if I got my sight back immediately, like what would be the first thing I would do. And I think I would go outside and I would grab my husband's bicycle and I would just take off so I could ride a bike independently and go as fast as I wanted to, where I wanted to, and I could stop what I wanted to, and just have that freedom. A lot of people say, don't you want to drive? And I'm like, no, I really don't have any desire to drive. But it kind of like you, like if I could like ski by myself or
exactly like ski by myself or do a sport that
play baseball or volleyball, play volleyball. I've never been able to play volleyball for obvious reasons.
Yeah, or even like to actually also to be able to run because with my disability, I can't run.
That's true.
To be able to actually just be able to go out into the world and run and be able to not worry about falling and getting hurt on just normal day activities.
Yeah. Wow. That's awesome. That's awesome. I think I'm going to start incorporating that question into my future interviews. So thanks for planting that seed. So Michelle, you've been here. We're actually sitting in a condo in Dillon, Colorado, and Michelle has skied with the Breckenridge Outdoor Education Center the last couple of days. Tell them how you ski.
So I ski in it's called a bi-ski, which is a sit-down ski that has two skis attached to it, kind of in a chair, so that I'm sitting down. And I use two things called outriggers. They're kind of like crutches made for skiing to make it understandable for people with disabilities. And by doing different movements with that device, I'm able, and moving my body in different ways, I'm able to go slower or faster down the hill and direct my speed to be able to do things on steeper or less terrain. And I was able to have a photo shoot this weekend, and being able to be videoed was like one of my dreams of just sitting there and acting like I was a professional player, even though I wasn't, but like showing off my skills and being able to overcome being able to have a very anxious, scary fall and sliding down 5 feet down the mountain, and being able to overcome that fall and process that fall, and being able to turn my mind around and focus on the positive of what I was succeeding that day, and being able to do a part of the hill totally independently, the longest I've ever done, without anybody like hovering over the ski. They were over 5 feet away from me.
Wow.
Like screaming and cheering me on. And
so that's awesome, because I know when you shared with me your fall, it is like, I think anybody with a disability, we know when we get hurt, it takes so much longer to heal, and it knocks us out of doing what we love. And how you were able to, like you said, turn your brain around and refocus and keep going. Like you didn't, like you could have gone down and quit and given up or whatever for the day, but you didn't. You ended strong, and there's lots of photos and videos to prove it. And you really are a good skier. I got to experience a little bit of it yesterday, and you know, what I've heard from how your day went today, you really are. I mean, you're skiing blacks, which is absolutely phenomenal for somebody anyway, even an able-bodied person, but to have somebody in the sit ski doing that, that's really remarkable.
It's like actually really rare. I found out like I'm more advanced than I ever thought I was by coming over here and being able to just jump on and succeed. Because last year I actually tipped the sit ski over the top of me and injured myself with killing 3 teeth and tearing a disc in my back. And so being able to switch my brain and keep going skiing this season and becoming so independent has caused me to have so many different dreams come true.
Yeah. And Michelle, I'm sure I'm not the first person to tell you this, but you really are remarkable. And everything that you talk about when you talk about skiing is like a professional skier, and you are part of a team, because professional skiers, they do take horrible falls. They break teeth. They, they hurt their back. They do all, lose skin, lose blood, break bones, but they keep on going. And you do too. So you don't consider yourself a professional athlete, but you really are. And skiing is just one of the things you do. You bike ride and you hike, and do you do other things?
I river raft and I do boating, and that's where I really learned. Also through the National Mobility Center, their equine therapy program, my instructor Allie was able to teach me how to love myself for who I was, and
through the equine therapy.
Yes.
Yeah, I've heard. I mean, as a child, I was a huge horse enthusiast, and they were my absolute best friends and definitely got me through some of the darkest times of my life. And I think it's so awesome how they are incorporating horses into therapy and to,
Yeah, because if it wasn't for horses, I wouldn't be able to overcome those barriers that are in my life and learn how to accept the challenges that I have, because sometimes it's just talking to the horse, because they have this amazing ability to sense the anxiety and the emotions of the emotions that you're feeling, and be able to calm you down and help you overcome those barriers.
Yeah.
And learning how to really talk about what you're feeling.
Yeah.
And learning coping skills to cope through the traumatic experiences in their lives.
Yeah. And so the name of the podcast is Aftersight, because there is life after sight. And what would you like to say to our audience about that there is life after barriers?
Like I said earlier with my faith, I have no doubt in my mind that we become whole after we die, and that don't give up during the hard times, and there is light at the end of the tunnel, and you be able to see that light and be able to see after the struggles that we face in life.
Yeah. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Well, Michelle, thank you so much. Thank you for being my friend for so long. And thank you for being so courageous with your life, because I know others see it and it does inspire them to live their best life that they possibly can, and to reach a little bit further and dig a little deeper, to have the adventures in their life. So thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. It was a pleasure to be here, and it's our rope teams that take us on these adventures, and
that's right.
We can learn how to grow together and get through.
That's right.
Life.
That's right. All right, everybody. I hope you've had a good week. I hope your next week is going to be filled with some adventuring on your own. And check in next week for our next guest. And don't forget to check out the other things that are going on at Audio Information Network of Colorado. We have so many amazing programs. So take care and be well. And I will be back at you next week.